Pollock is with us this morning, the Extension Service, and you can give Bob a call at 479-1160 or 349-WCCS with your questions about lawns and gardens and such. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. I don't want to spend the whole segment on the spotted lanternfly, just noting that the state government taking note of the fact that the fight is going on and how destructive it can be this week. So, people know. People are noticing. At what stage are they now? I think we had them as just little babies. And so they're soon going to change, aren't they, into a whole different looking species.
Yes, so as they progress and they go through their nymphal stages, they will change colors, get bigger.
Yeah. And they'll get the spots. Feeding.
Yeah, they'll get spots. Yeah.
They're really...
Because they'll be black with little white dots, and then eventually they'll gain the red color.
It's really interesting.
Polka-dotted little bugs.
Watching those things at their various stages and seeing the various pictures of them, it's really when you get right down to it, it's a cool-looking bug.
It is. It really is. Very distinctive.
Yeah. Not something you want to mess around with.
Very colorful. A lot of bugs are camouflaged, so that they can protect themselves from their predators.
This one's flamboyant.
Or they can hide. Yeah, and that's right.
It says, look at me, baby.
Yep, here I am. Look what I can do. I can rain down upon you.
All right, I want to ask you this question. This is a serious question because this week, I'm out by the garden, and there's a little bunny in there. I have the fence around it. I have it tacked down, just as you said. I think I have it tacked down everywhere. This thing saw me, shot out right through the fence. It found a way under, so I put down some more stakes on it to try to keep this out. Meanwhile, though, my beets are just chewed to the devil. And you've got almost at ground level, just the tiniest little bit of green on the top of them. And somebody said to me this week, well, that's okay. Beets will come back. Will they? Will they regain their foliage?
They can regrow some new leaves, but it can take a while, and it probably will. It'll, of course, delay when you would normally have harvested them. They're going to slow down in growth, and then they may never get as big because the plant has to put a lot of energy into and reserves when it doesn't have any foliage anymore. Yeah, it can't photosynthesize and make its own food. So it has to use the stored energy in the roots and in the bulb that's there so that it can regenerate new leaves. So oftentimes that'll sacrifice, you'll get smaller beets is what the end game will be on that.
Here we are then at the end of June and heading into July. Is it too late in the season that I could replant beets?
You probably could replant. You have enough time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and oftentimes, and so there's another strategy that we can use to fight against some of these intruders or these pests. Those nice little cute bunnies that are out there.
Varmints. They're varmints.
The varmints that are out there running around. They can be very cute to watch at a distance, and oh yeah, that's really nice. And there's a lot of rabbits around. Just driving down the roads, they're everywhere. They're darting in and out off the township roads and back and forth. Like, man, they had a good spring so far.
Yeah.
And then when they encroach on you, getting to the point here is multiple plantings of things, so if you get damage like you have, you've got backups already planted. You might have planted them. And a lot of times we'll wait till those seeds germinate and get up, and then we'll make another planting. Sometimes if we make multiple plantings, and maybe we do it on different days, but if the other seed hasn't germinated yet, oftentimes you can end up with getting everything germinating at the same time, and so you have a big, huge crop. And if you're going to store it all or you're going to process it all, that's fine.
My problem's going to be space, though.
Yeah.
Space is going to be the problem.
But or even planning that within a row, start and plant part of what you're going to want to harvest.
Plant them in stages.
And plant them in stages.
Mm-hmm.
And that can help minimize some of that damage because they might get that first crop that was up there and nice and tender and juicy to chew off.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next group might be a little bit slower behind.
Or they might just say, oh, look, this guy's feeding us all year long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering if I don't have space, it's going to be probably 3 weeks before I'm harvesting beans. And I only need to do one go of beans this year, but I'm doubting that in 3 weeks I could still grow beets. I probably need to get them in the ground now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is almost July.
Yeah.
So anything that's going to take, so then you've got, if you seed it, you've got at least a week there till it even germinates and starts to get up, depending on the day length of that particular variety. So if it's 90 days, let's say, then there's July, August, September that it's going to take to mature that crop.
And the days will be getting shorter.
And then by that time, that's right. We're going to have shorter days, cooler nights, a little bit cooler temperatures that'll slow that growth.
Yeah.
And we often get into that in the spring as well. We try to get out there and get things planted, but we can have two things working against us, both the air temperature as well as the soil temperature.
Mm-hmm.
And that soil temperature is really critical to getting things to germinate and to grow. They can sit there and just look at you for a while.
And then length of day means less exposure to sunlight for the vaunted photosynthesis.
It's hard sometimes, especially with like broccoli, cauliflower, even cabbage. Just getting those things going in the spring can take a while.
Then all of a sudden they wake up.
Right, all of a sudden.
All right, we have a caller. Good morning.
Good morning. I have a question about an insect we found on our patio towards the end of last week.
Bum, bum, bum.
If we Googled it correctly, which I believe we do, it appears to be a wasp that is like a sword wasp. It has long...
It has a big, long... On the back end of its body, has a big, long, needle-like structure.
Yes, three of them.
There's a whole group of those ichneumon wasps. And I don't know which one you ended up finding, but yeah, there's different species of those particular. They're very interesting looking.
They are.
They're not harmful.
Okay.
What color is it?
It has like black with white stripes through the body.
Okay, because I'm looking at one that says terrifying new wasp sword. And it's gold colored, so you're okay in that respect.
Okay. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. I mean, we've seen it flying by. I've never seen anything like that before. So they are native to Pennsylvania?
I don't know that they're native to Pennsylvania, but I think there's a lot of them that are native to North America.
Okay.
And they're often around. You can run into them. I've run into them numerous times, not literally, but seen them. And very long. They look very daunting because of that very long needle-like structure coming off the posterior of their body. But they can be predators, and I can't think of what they feed on exactly, but a variety of things. But they're not normally considered a pest. They're more of a beneficial insect.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
There's all kind of neat and cool things out there if we have time to just observe and take note of nature.
The wasp. I see that more than being called the sword wasp, they're called the wasp sword.
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Did it give ichneumon? ICH?
Yeah, I think I saw that in one of these. Yeah. Scary looking thing.
And we have a lot of native insects, and we've been finding more about all those that also serve as pollinators. A lot of the bees are ground nesting bees, so you might go along and see a little hole in the soil where there's bare soil, and that can easily have been of one of those ground nesting bees
Yeah.
that are a lot of times solitary bees.
They're nasty when you drive over them
Yeah.
on your mower, and you got a big old nest of them in there.
Like yellow jackets, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking more about, not so much about the yellow jackets that, yes, they will.
Well, you'd be scared by
I've had
what you
some
wanna be
very bad
scared by.
experiences with those, running mowers over.
Me too.
Multiple injuries sustained over the years.
Yeah, I know. I had a lady stop by. Last year I was looking in one of them after they'd gotten me. I got it twice on the ankle. And so I was looking in the yard with my spray can in my hand, and this lady drives by and rolls down her window. What you looking for? Come on over and I'll show you.
Can't you see all these things swarming around me?
I ain't the smartest fellow in the world, but I can tell that. But yeah, they can get, it's getting to that season too.
It is.
It seems like early in the year they don't have a home, but now they're really starting.
They're nesting now.
Yeah.
And yes, you could go out and, and what are the odds that you're going to step right on a nest like that? Well,
You've done
beat
that.
those odds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe not beat the odds. I landed on the landmine.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yellow jackets, hornets are another one. And everybody probably has their horror stories about it. We only have a couple of seconds left, but let's see what this next caller is calling about. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
That's good. I had a question for Bob.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I planted some lavender, and I was wondering when I can prune it back and stuff.
How long ago did you plant it?
It's been 2 years, I think, and it's getting pretty big.
How tall?
It's probably maybe 18 inches high.
All right, Bob, that's the last of my questions. Go ahead and answer.
That's pretty good. We're learning some things about her lavender.
We only have a minute.
And you can utilize that as it's growing. So if it's only 18 inches high, you may not need to prune a lot off of it. But yeah, you can selectively prune that, keep it in the shape or the size you want it, and as well as use that lavender.
When do you normally do that, in the fall or the spring?
Well, I mean, if it's getting out of bounds now, you can trim that really anytime.
Okay.
If it's getting out of bounds, just go ahead and prune some branches off, and it's going to regrow some more. And then you can't. I usually like to wait till we get through winter to do a lot of pruning on plants, especially if they might be marginally hardy. That way, if there's winter damage from multiple things, we can take care of that in the spring. We can see how the new growth comes out, and then as it's starting to come out, if the buds are alive and the growth is happening, then we can prune that back into size and be good to go.
All right, we're out of time.
Okay, well, these wooden things grow up in it, and they look really kind of ugly in the springtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can prune anything. Yep, anything that's
I
dead.
meant what I said. Big, we're out of time.
Prune it.
It's WCCS.
101.1 FM on 101 FM on